Only during the broadcast.
Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here, my UFC on Fox review for this Saturday, January the 25th, 2014. It's my first UFC review in quite a while. And tonight's UFC on Fox, well, let's say this. The prelims were better than the main. I watched at least at least 4 or 5 out of the 6 prelims tonight, and at least some of them were pretty good. The main card, otherwise, okay. The first fight was okay. Second fight, great knockout. Co-main, yeah. Main event, a snore fest, in my opinion. Now, I'm glad the fans booed. They fucking deserved it. So, thank God, when I make reviews of TV events, I don't rate them. I don't rate TV shows. I don't rate TNA Impacts. I don't rate WWE shows or UFC on Foxes. I rate the pay-per-views. And if I were to have rated the main card on UFC Fox tonight, it would have been a low rating. I'll say that much. But the prelims got a high rating for me. I'll go through the prelims. I normally just do main card, but I'll do prelims because I've seen the prelims. The first fight of the prelims was okay. George Sullivan, Mike Ward's kind of a boring fight. Then Dewan Krushank, who's from Detroit. I am from Detroit, Michigan, so I had to cheer him on against Mike Rio. That was a great, exciting prelim with some great striking, great action, but more exciting than the first fight with Krushank really dominating this fight. If Krushank fights like that in the future, Krushank could live up to his nickname of the Detroit Superstar. He could be a superstar in UFC if he keeps on performing like he did tonight against Mike Weir in a devastating TKO victory in the second round. I saw a little bit of Hugo Viana against Junior Hernandez. Hugo deserved that victory from great striking in that fight. I missed Chico Camas against Yatsen Meza. And Eddie Wineland against Yves Jabourin. Decent fight from these guys. I was out. I went shopping doing the fifth fight on the prelims. I came back to see Eddie Wineland fight. And it was a very decent fight against Yves Jabourin with a TKO. He had like a little kick. He had a big kick on Eves, like a little head kick, like a toe kick. That was a vicious kick. But it went to a TKO. It wasn't a full-on knockdown. The kick just brought him down to be grounded and pounded by Mr. Wineland, coming back from his loss against Jose Aldo. With great victory from Wineland. My favorite fight of the prelims was definitely Alex Caceres against Sergio Pettis, the younger brother of Anthony Pettis. Great main event of the prelims. Both guys had great vicious punches in the first and second round. Great punch from Sergio. I think he had like a kick in the first round. And then Alex Caceres with a nasty right hand in the second round. Very exciting fight in this main event of the prelims. Very back and forth fight between both these guys. With Caceres coming down with a rear naked choke submission. Could be submission of the night victory for the bonus tonight for Eric Caceres. Great prelim fight in the main event of the prelims for Eric Caceres. Pettis fought very hard, especially trying to step up the channels, but I think Pettis has a bright future. You know, his brother, of course, he is in the featherweight division. He is not in his brother's division, lightweight. So Sergio Pettis has a long way to go, but he had a decent showing tonight against Eric Caceres. I think Sergio needs to come back strong and get some more good wins, and he could live up to the reputation of his last name. He'd live up to and step out from the shadow of his brother. He's still got a long way to go, but it's progress. Decent fight tonight, despite the loss against Eric Caceres. Now on to the main card. We got the first fight, featherweight match. Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens taking on Darren Elkins. Now, it was basically striker versus grappler. Elkins was trying for the takedowns, and it's okay first fight. The first fight was probably the only good thing to be anything good in this fight card, the main card. Almost reminded me of one time I went to see Bellator. And the prelims were better than the main card. It almost was that tonight with this card. But Heathen Stevens was just dominant. You know, the striking won out. You know, Elkins tried every attempt to grapple and take down Heathen Stevens, but Heathen Stevens had great takedown defense and great striking and grappling in this fight, which led to the unanimous decision victory for Little Heathen Stevens, trying to dominate in the featherweight division. They're saying he's the best he's been in years. I think he looked, from what I saw tonight, he and Stevens looked very good tonight. Not a dominating, commanding performance, but a decent performance, nonetheless, by Heaven Stevens, basically outstriking Elkins. Because, like I said, Elkins was trying to go for the takedowns, but the takedowns were not working, so Elkins' takedown attempts failed miserably as he got outstriked by Little Heaven, which led to the victory for Little Heaven. Now on to the second fight, which of the main card, which was a lightweight fight with the Cowboy, Donald Cerrone against Adriano Martins. Now Martins was trying to make an impression, and it is only his second fight in UFC. Now the first round was most of the first one was like okay, like not much excitement until that great vicious knockout head kick by Donald Cerrone. In my mind, knockout of the night candidate. Wow, that was a vicious, great knockout from Donald Cerrone. Because this Martin guy looked very tough. This Martin guy, he's got a great future in UFC from what I saw from him. He looked very tough out there. He kind of outstruck a little bit on Cerrone. My dad and I were watching it, and he's like, this Martins looked very good tonight. Donald Cerrone, the only way Martin can lose to Cerrone is that Cerrone can get lucky. Well, Cerrone got lucky with a great vicious head kick near the end of the first round. Like I said, knockout of the night candidate for me for Donald Cerrone. They said that Cerrone has tied for the most bonuses to Joe Lozon and Anderson Silva. He may broke that tie tonight by getting this bonus against Mr. Martins. I think Martin's got a nice future, but Donald Cerrone trying to step back up in the food chain in the lightweight division with a vicious head kick. Great knockout from Cerrone in the second fight. Now the co-main event. Mixed results for both matches. We got Stipe Miocic heavyweight fight taking on Gabriel Gonzaga. Not much excitement in this fight. Both guys, heavyweight fights are hit and miss with me. Because the longer the fight goes, the more tired they get. And with these two fights, the main event and co-main event, and if you've seen any of my UFC reviews, I always say there's some fights that I like to call fight not to lose fights. Where there's two guys who don't want to lose the fight, they don't want to lose their payday, they just stand there, fuck the fans, they just stand there and say, oh, I'm not going to punch you, I'm not going to punch you. That's what I call fight not to lose fights. And both the co and main event were both fight not to lose fights. The worst was the main event, but the co-main event, it was okay. It was not exciting. There was okay striking for both guys. Stipe, he outstruck Gonzaga, but it was not dominating performance by Stipe. Not much excitement, no great exciting moments like the head kick from Cerrone. It almost felt like that they were going to try to knock each other out in the first round, because the first round was kind of like boring for a little bit. I thought it was going to be like the Cerrone fight, get a knockout at the end of the round, but it wasn't like that. Went to 3 rounds. And Stipe was more the aggressor, if you can call anybody an aggressor in this fight, which is just unexciting, just man-hugging and just not exciting fight. And the victory went to Stipe Miocic. And I don't think anybody deserves a title shot from this fight. The performances were not exciting. It was not like an exciting performance. Speaking of no one deserving title shots from a fight, leading up to a main event fight, who I think no one should get a shot. This was basically what could have been a number one contenders fight in the lightweight division involving two former champions in the UFC, WEC, and Strikeforce. You could expect, there was a lot of hype. Both these guys are very great fights, especially Benson Henderson recovering from his loss against Anthony Pettis, and of course, Josh Thompson, who many people say may have his last one a championship. Well, despite that hype, the match was a snore fest. Oh my God. This was just, it did not live up to the hype, in my opinion. It was mostly on takedown. And once again, like I said, fight not to lose fights. Josh Thompson also broke his hand during the fight, which limited his mobility. And like every round, Thompson went for a fucking takedown. One was simply going for the body triangle. Every fucking round. You know what I mean? And the striking was not there. It was not exciting. There was nothing exciting about this fight. And I've seen Benson Henderson fights. And every Benson Henderson fight I've seen has been exciting. His first fight against Pettis. His fight against Clay Breeder. His fight against Frankie Edgar. Every Benson Henderson fight, I've never been bored. This was the exception to that rule. It was not exciting at all. It was, like I said, fight not to lose fight. The only cool, funny moment was during the third round when, once again, Thompson was trying to go for a body triangle, and they were standing up, and Benson flipped his hair. That was the only funny moment. That was the only thing close to exciting. The fans booed him, and boy, did they deserve it. You know, because Benson was more the aggressor, but he wasn't really, his performance wasn't demanding. You know, both guys weren't in danger. I've said that when I was talking about GSP winning over Johnny Hendricks. GSP was never in any danger. Despite a great striking fight from Mr. Hendricks, GSP was in no danger. Same with these two guys. None of them were in danger of losing at one time. Yes, like I said, Thompson had body triangle attempts, but Benson quickly got out of him every time that Mr. Thompson tried a submission. And Benson did try submissions as well, but like I said, the striking, it was not exciting. You know, Benson tried to go some kicks and punches, but it was not exciting stand-up. Every time he stood up, it was not exciting. There was no exciting moments, no exciting furies like in the prelims. And this fight was so boring, it was a split decision. That's how boring this fight was. It was a split decision. No one thought, because no guy dominated the entire fight. That's why it was a split decision. No guy took control of the fight. You know, no guy was in control. You can't, it was both main event and co-main event. You couldn't tell who was winning. I'm surprised the main event, the co-main event, was a unanimous decision. Because I was watching that Stipe Gonzaga fight. I was like, who's winning? Because you couldn't tell because both guys were not fighting that much in an unexciting way. Same with this fight. You couldn't tell who was winning because not one guy was in control. Not one guy was on top of the other guy. You know, it was just a back and forth fight, but not exciting back and forth. It was just unexciting striking. And Benson Henderson won the fight by split decision, like I said, and he does not deserve a title shot out of this fight. His performance tonight was not great. You know, he outstruck Mr. Thompson, especially when Thompson broke his hand, but it wasn't in exciting fashion. Like I've seen Benson in very exciting fights, but this is the most boring Benson fight I've ever seen. And if he gets a title shot out of this against Pettis, he doesn't deserve it, in my opinion. I hope Pettis says, fuck both these guys. Both the performances sucked. They were boring. The fans booed them. They fucking deserve those boos tonight. They deserve those boos in Chicago. Even if Josh Thompson did come out to Sirius, the Chicago Bulls entrance music, in the United Center where this was tonight, but it was just, it was not eventful. It was an uneventful fight tonight. And if Pettis gets to fight Benson does not deserve to fight. The only reason why Benson should deserve a rematch is because of his past matches, not this one fight. On his past two matches with Pettis, he shouldn't get a match off of this performance, because this performance tonight was uneventful, in my humble opinion. UFC 169 is next week, and it better be a good pay-per-view. Better make up for this okay main card tonight, with Uriah Faber taking on Barreau, and Ricardo Lamas taking on Jose Aldo, 2,000 on line, bantamweight and featherweight. So it should be decent fights next week. And Frank Mir takes on Alistair Overeem in a heavyweight showdown. This should be a better heavyweight fight than Gonzaga and Stipe tonight. Both those fights, if Stipe and Benson gets title shots out of this, they don't deserve it, because the performances were uneventful. That is my humble opinion. And like I said, Benson and Thompson was so boring, it was a unanimous decision. That's how uneventful this match was split decision. No one knew who was winning. So there you go. That is my UFC on Fox review for this evening. Thank you all very much for bearing through this little ranking of mine for this evening. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you all very much. Have a great night. Have a great weekend, everybody. Yeah.